Hello, and welcome to Martlet Games. My name is Sarah, and I'm the storyteller for this historical Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition chronicle, London's Bleeding. A content warning applies for this story. There will be themes and descriptions of violence, loss of character agency, gaslighting, coarse language, and more. The table has discussed their lines and veils, their hard limits, and makes use of the yellow and red card safety system during play. Take care of yourself above all. If you become uncomfortable or triggered, don't hesitate to step away. We'll be waiting for you with open arms should you decide to return. I'm pleased to once again welcome our kindred and have them introduce themselves, starting with Ben as Walter.
My name is Ben. I play Walter, the gangrel.
Hello, Patrick Gill, and tonight I am playing Rafe the Toreador.
Hi, I'm Samantha McLarty, and I will be playing Lillian Crawford, the Ventru.
And good evening, my name is Stephen Rieger, and I'll be playing Tommy, the Malkavian.
Thank you to my players and to those watching, wherever and whenever you are. The immortal life of a vampire almost guarantees a descent into depravity and cruelty. Some slowly slink down a dark, winding staircase built from covert wickedness and violence in the shadows. At the bottom waits utter isolation, despair, and silence. Others launch themselves into the fiery volcano of the beast's power, eventually blasting forth to indulge their toxic impulses. The ascent toward the heights of degeneracy demands more and more. Fist over bloody fist. Time marches on. The pallor sinks into their faces, the evil hollows out their eyes. The dead not only walk the earth, but control it from behind a dark, diaphanous veil or a cracking mirror. In London, how long will it be before the monstrous natures of kind and kindred alike shred the veil and shatter the mirror? We open back up on the Drunken Dancer at midnight. The tension amongst the Coterie of Happenstance hanging in the air like thick, invisible fog. The coterie sits stiffly at an old wooden table, the legs carved with crude aphorisms. Where just an hour ago there was singing and celebration, now there is uncertainty, unspoken unease. Bollingsworth Nosferatu, his skin sagging despondently, sits with them, and newly embraced Myron Bond, standing by his side, eyes like pitch black orbs, darting back and forth. Bollock strokes one of the folds on his neck and smirks, though it's not quite as happy as his normal self. So, what's next, mates?
Right, well, as far as the Bollingsworth factory goes, I believe I made a roll last session to kind of figure out where the the glass maker factory was in relation to the Mithraeum and then the estate up north. And Rafe's been trying to sort all that out here.
Sure, and you know that the bottling plant or the artisan glass facility that's here in the East End, you know that that's at Cable and Ensign Street. You get a corner address. You got a crudely drawn map where there were some entrances and exits that Hubert was able to scope out for you over the course of a couple days or a week. He also reported those animalistic sounds and the voice of presumably a man inside the bottling plant. So that's kind of what you got. But yeah, you would know where the bottling plant is in relationship to the Mithraeum, like you said. And it's all kind of in this Eastern London area. The Mithraeum, of course, is further west, but all of it is kind of in this almost diamond shape of East London, with the top point being the country manor. And sort of in the middle of that is the bottling plant, and then southwest is the Mithraeum.
Oh. Now, I had one of my people check the place out, and I mean, it stands to reason that what they saw, what they heard, is unfortunately connected to what's going on here. And I take out my pencil and I'm kind of sketching the relationship there. I mean, that looks a little suspicious to me. I don't know about anyone else here, but that's another concern that we should be addressing on top of everything else going on outside.
The correlation could be there. It could be similar together. I don't think we'll have time. You said midnight right now, correct, storyteller?
Yeah, it's about midnight.
Okay, and I'm assuming where I am thinking where the manor is up north, it's going to take a bit to get there.
That's going to be like, you're going to have to go there in a vehicle. You cannot, it's way too far. It's outside of the city proper where it gets into the more rural areas. So that's going to be a vehicle trip of some time.
Bottling factory close though to where we are, a little closer.
Yeah, definitely. The bottling factory is in East London, like I said, at the corner of Cable and Ensign, which is in the Whitechapel area. So it's kind of like right at a corner street in Whitechapel. And Tommy, why don't you roll me intelligence and streetwise?
Sure thing. That's a 3.
You remember that at that intersection, just north of it, like very close, is a railway. And there are railway tracks, like as you go up north, going east and west.
Okay. Well, we can plan what we need, but I believe action needs to be taking place sooner rather than later.
And unfortunately, I'm inclined to agree with you there. As far as the country manor is concerned, I mean, that's well within, we'll say, a convenient flight for a gargoyle, perhaps. We will definitely have to coordinate later about going up there, but if we're going to make use of the time that we have, I'm willing to join along if anyone else is going to go take a look.
So you're wanting to go there and have a bit of a look-see, right? So that's what I'm hearing from you. Is that correct?
Unfortunately, yes.
I don't think we have a choice.
Why not send someone else, like a ghoul or something?
If we take the initiative ourselves, wouldn't that make us look all the better for your friends in the tower?
Apologies, but did I not mention previously that I don't really care about looking one way or another? And I don't really have friends in the tower so much as we have an understanding.
Well, I mean, your sire is a Justicar.
And do I look like a Justicar to you? Or a Primogen? Or anything else of the sort?
No, but the pedigree is there, certainly, and I'm sure that...
Your pedigree is there too. Not a great pedigree, but it's there. Does that mean that you are by definition what that says that you should be?
I ignore the question and I turn my attention to Walter. You up for a walk?
To the bottling plant? Of course.
And Bollock sort of leans back in his chair and crosses his arms and looks right at Lillian. And he says, you know, don't matter how much money you have, how much influence you have, or where you come from, the tower always come knocking. That'd be pretty obvious with a Justicar coming into town. Bloody hell. But, like, they're everywhere. The prince is literally thousands of years old. Like, power unimaginable to folk like you or I. And Bollocks makes a very obvious gesture that Lillian is part of this group and not outside of it. And he continues, of course, I don't blame you not having friends in the tower. I mean, stuffy lot. And I mean, most sires can fuck off for all I can. I don't usually do anything. And he gives kind of like a sideways glance to Myron. Like, kind of like, but not me. I'm a cool sire. So he just, and then he finishes while he kind of puts his chair back in position. I mean, do what you will. Obviously, there's something brewing for all of us, and unfortunately, most of the time, the tower means safety. The tower means survival. I mean, that's really all that there is, and they're going to come knocking, as they already have done. But now, you know, the prince is trotting way out of his study in the shadow, doing God knows what, and he's not going to knock on your door. He's going to put a battering ram to it.
We were tasked by Sheriff Parr to take care of the gargoyle situation, and unfortunately,
more or less we did already. We did what we were supposed to do already, so this is just a bonus round, I suppose. Nonetheless, I understand that the prince is going to come calling and that he is on his way here if he's not already here, and that's all well and good. I am familiar and well acquainted with all likes in the tower, and as I said before, they always come calling, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I need to answer. And just because my sire is an archon does not mean that that makes me responsible for any sort of anything that he wants me to do either. You all need to understand, it is very important that you always keep something that they want, but you never give it away freely.
I'm going to rouse for Blush of Life. I succeed. Rafe's going to just sit there and kind of muse ever so briefly over what Lillian has said, and gets up from the table, puts on that officer's coat, lights up a cigarette. Well, I'm going for a walk, and whoever wants to come along can come along.
Careful not to catch your death.
Done all right so far for myself. And Rafe doesn't even acknowledge Tommy, but he just goes and starts heading towards the door.
Lillian will look at Tommy and she's just going to, so what say you, Tommy? Are you going to play pawn, or how would you like to handle this? I'm very curious.
The job isn't done. We found what we were looking for, but we didn't take care. Now, this may not be personal to you, but it has turned very personal to me. My care is for a small few. My love is solely for one. No more, no less. The job needs to be done. And I'll stand up. And I will go in a different direction, but I'll head that way, kind of in an individual style.
Okay, so Tommy is going alone in the direction of the bottling plant, but taking a different route than perhaps Rafe and others may take.
And I will turn on unseen passage once I'm in the clear.
Real mature.
That is a rouse check for you, Tommy.
Absolutely.
To do unseen passage. So you go ahead and do that.
Hungry.
Alex, hungrier. Tommy, as you step back out into this night that's still very cold, despite being March, the sky is clear. The air is crisp. You don't hear the voice of Grim. You don't hear the laugh. You don't hear the commands. You just hear glass shattering, ringing in your ears over and over again on repeat for probably a full minute or so as you're walking down the street. And you get hungrier. So as Tommy leaves, Bollocks kind of follows watches him leave, sees Rafe stand up, and he kind of just looks over everyone and he's like, well, if it's all the same to you, I do have business to attend to, and Myron must come with me. Unless you'd really, really like me to go, of course. And he kind of looks at Walter and Rafe.
It's up to you, lad.
I would strongly advise that you don't leave that one alone. Seems, as I mentioned, the paranoia is for good reason.
He's also just a little green lad, ain't he? And he kind of pinches Myron's cheek. And Myron sort of just hems and haws a little bit. And Bollock says, yeah, I better get back to the tunnel. Lots of business there. But I assume we'll be seeing each other really soon.
What does that mean?
Well,
I don't mean nothing, mate. It means what I said. What? I don't play those kind of games. And looks at Lillian.
Have I got something on my face? Is that what this is? What? I don't understand. What's to look for?
No, I think you're just in denial, love. And then he walks out with Myron, and they leave the drunken dancer as the rest of you file out behind, so they can lock up and do whatever they need to do to kind of shut it down for the night. And they're heading further east back to the tunnel. So Tommy's off on his own, invisible. So Rafe, Walter, and Lillian, are you all walking together to the bottling plant, or how? No.
Lillian's going to look at Walter, and she's just, Mr. Price, would you care for a ride?
Well, Miss Crawford, I believe it is my duty to make sure that Rafe does not catch his death. So I will escort him.
Very fair indeed. All right, as you wish.
But much appreciated, Miss Crawford.
Of course. I'm always happy to oblige. And with that, I'm going to go to my car. And when I get in, I have Since the Unseen up. And I'm going to tell the driver to go towards the facility, and as I'm going to be looking for Tommy specifically, and giving my driver instructions should I see him where to go.
Okay, so let's make a contest out of this, shall we? So Lillian, please roll wits and aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And Tommy, let me just look at my reference here on Unseen Passage real fast. Okay. So it's not exactly like typical or maybe rules as written, but Tommy, I would like you to roll Dex and Stealth, and we'll just see how the rolls fall out and how we can do that. Since it's kind of high-powered vampire versus high-powered vampire here.
5 critical.
Sounds about right.
Muted.
I think you're muted.
That is 5, but with not a bestial failure, but the
Messy crit.
A messy critical. So
messy
you
crit.
have-
So a 5
you have
messy
a-
crit.
That's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Disappear
Okay.
more. I don't know.
So Tommy, just to confirm, so you rolled a 10 on your hunger dice and a 10 on your regular dice. Okay.
Correct.
Equaling to 5. Great. Okay.
Have fun with that one, storyteller.
Yeah. Hey, this is why we're here, to get into interesting situations. So Lillian's car is moving in the direction that she probably detected that Tommy went off to. And you have your supernatural vision ready to go. You're very alert and ready to observe the world around you. And Tommy, you know that the silence and the invisibility that you have is going to be kind of crucial going forward. So, unfortunately for Tommy, I have to give it to the critical success here. Actually, because you are the non-messy critical. I think I'm going to ultimately give it to that. That's going to be my call. So, Lillian, you will see Tommy just walking along the street in your car. And Tommy, I'm just going to take a quick look at your sheet here. Because we got to make it interesting, right? We are going to circle back to the messy critical thing in just a little while. There will be something that we'll do, but we're going to just
Consequences.
Yes, we will just wait. So, yeah, Lillian, are you doing anything? Are you stopping or anything in terms of that you've seen?
Yeah,
Tommy
as soon as I see him, I'm going to instruct the driver to pull up beside that where the driver can't see. I'm just going to instruct to pull beside this particular area and to slowly keep going. And I'm going to... I have to rethink for a second because it's a different time period. Windows rolled down in these vehicles, right? shit.
As far as I
I
know,
think so.
yes. We'll say yes.
Like,
Some
I'm
anachronisms are
trying to think.
inevitable.
Smash
does
a
that
window, why
happen?
not?
Like, but yeah,
I mean, the
will-
door is open at least.
Right. I'm going to roll the window down and I'm going to look right at him and I'm just going to say, would you like a ride? We can get there much faster this way.
At this time, I'm going to whisper. Just walk up near the window, just kind of walk there. At this time, my silence is probably the best.
Are you sure? I believe there's much we can talk about on the way.
I'm going to roll a die. Give me just a second.
Right?
You said I know the railroads run north, east and west on the north side of the bottling plants.
Correct. That's right.
Okay. I'll be at the north side of the bottling plant in 15 minutes. Instead of going in a car, you could meet me there. And I'm just going to keep walking.
And she's just going to keep a smile and roll the window up and instruct the driver where to go.
And Tommy, you said that you would meet Lillian in 15 minutes at the bottling plant, but your beast decides it needs satisfaction now. So not only does your hunger go up, but you are compelled to find someone to feed on. And you must do that before you can get to the bottling plant. It's up to you how you figure that out, but you will have to do that before you can reach your destination, or you're not going to be able to have any other focus rather than feeding right now. Thanks,
Okay.
D10.
I would
Okay,
like to
so-
point out I'm not driving straight up to the bottling plant. I'm going to go a good way because I'm not walking the whole fucking way. Are you kidding me? It's Lillian. But I'll drive a good. I'll drive a good way, and then I will have the driver pull over, and then I will get out and make my way on foot.
Okay, that makes sense that you wouldn't get dropped off like right there on the corner of the street. So we'll say you know, a block, 2 blocks, maybe. Okay, so let's cut over then to Rafe and Walter, who are walking towards the bottling plant. Are you taking any kind of circuitous route? Are you kind of going the most direct way? What's the deal there?
I would more than likely stick to the alleys and the back streets. We'll say direct but indirect at the same time. I'm not stealthy like Tommy is. However, a certain artistic talent just kind of cross applies, and Rafe's going to do his best to, we'll say, blend in. He's going to try to look like a down and out mortal roaming the streets at night, maybe going from pub to pub before he gets kicked out of each one on his way back to his flat. And I will also have heightened senses up at the same time.
Okay, so just so I'm sure, so you're going directly, but you're maybe trying to avoid main streets and
Right.
take alleyways instead. That's totally doable, no problem there. So you're hitting pubs?
I wouldn't. I'm not going to the pubs, but I'm trying to.
Okay.
I'm putting on a facade of basically a drunk mortal.
Okay, I would like you to please roll manipulation and performance then.
All right.
See how well this goes for you.
One, two, three, four, 5 successes.
I feel like Rafe is almost shocked at his ability to act this way, but then maybe it's like you weren't, you were human not that long ago. You remember what it's like to be drunk and going around the pubs and act like you're having a rowdy time. You blend in very well. You don't draw any like weird attention to yourself. You kind of like exactly fit the vibe of the neighborhoods that you go through and the pubs that you pass. Now, Walter, are you taking part in this ruse? Are you kind of just staying by Rafe? Like, how are you? What is your reaction here?
I truly don't think anybody's paying attention to us. The only thing I'm worried about are anybody who's potentially following us. So I will, as needed, I will make sure we stay on very public streets so that we don't get a chance to be ambushed. And I mean, I'll probably just like look like I'm taking care of him, but it's more like I'm not playing along. I'm just like looking at this guy pretending he's acting for someone, and I'm just making sure that he's okay.
Walter is Rafe's captive audience for his Toreador shit. So, okay, cool. That makes it so. There's a little bit of a
there's an odd
there.
couple vibe on
vibe
one.
for sure, and that like you're saying taking public streets and Rafe saying like back streets, so it probably I would say maybe it ends up a mix, like you kind of
definitely a mix,
kind of a weird. Did you have something to add, Pat?
Oh, I was going to say that if Walter was going to like tag along with him, he'd probably like lean up on him and but. Yeah, that's entirely up to.
That's the Walter face. Like,
yeah, for sure. I love this. Actually, I think this is really great. So Walter, as you're making your way and you're kind of playing this protector role, please roll wits and awareness for me.
Of course. I never fed it either.
Nope.
1.
1. You don't see anything untoward. I mean, all the mortals are sort of acting accordingly. Like nothing stands out. There's no particular trouble. You don't hear anything suspicious. It's going in these back alleys, it's very dark. So you kind of find yourself straining at times to like make out what's going on, but you don't notice anything.
Okay.
One last detail I want to add here. I did drink that pint back at the pub.
No, you're gonna vomit.
That needs to come
all over me.
Not all over me.
I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me.
Adding to the act.
Yeah, so there you go. At some point, Rafe just ducks into an alleyway. Maybe I'm just gonna. I feel like the just number D10 is gonna be my best friend here. I'm really liking this. You almost get to a trash can, but you don't. And so there is some. Your clothes get a little dirty, which probably is not what you wanted, but not too bad.
Oh, Rafe, you knew better than to drink that.
I couldn't help, but I was.
Sounds like you have a problem.
Habit from the war, unfortunately. And when he's close, I'm gonna kind of drop the act just a little bit here. So Right. Everything's seeming clear so far. I've
Good.
not noticed anything untoward. Is everything fine behind us?
As good as it could be. Frankly, I didn't know how much of this is an act and how much of this is the bad swill you drank earlier. So...
Well, unfortunately, it's... it had to come up sooner or later, and I figured I might as well lean into it, as they say. But... Look,
You're putting on an act like that, and you expect me to watch the shadows for you. It's distracting.
Yeah, maybe I missed my calling. Give up the pen and take to the stage.
Oh, Rafe, now is not the time to have a crisis of responsibility.
Well,
We're gonna go do a snoot job, and you're thinking about becoming an actor.
Well, I've got to have something to fall back on if the journalism bit dies out. But I don't know. Look, and I don't intend on doing anything stupid when we get there. I just want to take we'll say a more detailed look of the place.
You don't have to explain yourself to me. Let's just keep going.
Right. And da-da-da-da-da.
Nice. So yeah, Rafe and Walter continue to make their way toward the bottling plant and the artisan glass facility. I think in terms of who is getting there first, I mean, Lillian's in a car, but she is kind of like parking and then walking. So I actually think that we are going to swing back around to Tommy. So how are you dealing with this compulsion to feed? You're muted.
I want to find the dirtiest and ugliest pub that's open right now.
Okay, roll wits and streetwise.
Four messy crit.
Okay.
I mean, you're getting the job done.
What is your
gross.
hunger level currently?
3.
That's what I thought. The longer that you wait, every step you take seems more painful than the last. It's like the beast is going to leap out of your throat and devour some poor mortal whole. So your hunger is going to go up again. So now you're at 4. In terms of like the results of your wits and streetwise at 4, and you did like have a critical success, you only need to go about 5 minutes out of your way to find, like you said, a pretty gnarly looking pub. Definitely rough sort. You probably see a few sailors, definitely some like smuggler looking type of people. You're still pretty close to all this, like these docks and these boats. Like it's all very close to that. So there's kind of like a middling amount of people in the pub. There's nothing like very rowdy going on. Maybe like a fight is kind of like brewing in the back of the pub. But other than that, people are kind of like sleepy and drunk and kind of just like nodding off into their swill.
Back of the bar it goes.
So you're going to the back of the bar.
Along the way, go ahead.
Just as a quick note, there are probably about 15 people in this bar, including the staff.
Okay. I'm going to grab a pint glass. An empty pint glass on the way.
Great.
And I'm going to. You said looks like there's a fight that's about to start.
Yeah, two men are like shoving each other. There's been no like blows exchanged, but they're kind of just like, oh, don't you say that about my missus. I'll fucking kill you, mate. And then he's like, oh, well, your missus is a slag. And they're just like going back and forth, but they're not exchanging blows because they're very drunk and they're stumbling and stuff.
I am going to take the glasses off. The biggest one is to the left of me.
Yeah.
Okay. Pint glass to the face.
I mean, this drunk mortal is not expecting this. It's a complete surprise. He didn't really see you or notice you coming, so there's not going to be a roll for you here. So he gets this thing cracked. You said on the head?
Yeah, like face somewhere around the forehead.
So this was let me make just a quick roll here. So this guy just takes it full on. I mean, the glass like fucks up his face immediately. He's got like a cut under his eye. He's probably got a glass sticking out of the fattiest part of the cheek, like right here. He's got like a slash on his forehead, and blood just starts going down. And the guy who was trying to start a fight with him, he's like, Byron, what the fuck? Who is this guy? And he, like, all of a sudden their beef seems to be completely dissolved, and like now this guy is worried for Byron, the guy that you smashed in the face. And he kind of just has his hands on his face, just like literally screaming. And now everyone in the bar is looking at the back of the bar. What do you do next, Tommy?
I am going to tussle with the person to my right, not to a point to do anything with, just enough for us two to get kicked out of the pub.
Okay, so eventually the staff takes notice. They have, because of the part of town, they have a pretty big guy, possibly from one of the smaller gangs that roams the streets these nights. And he comes up to you both and he just bellows and he's just like, out now, all three of you cunts, get out of here now. And he like, there is like a back door where you three were standing. So he's just kind of like motioning for you all to go back to the door, and he's slowly like encroaching upon all of you to get you to move. Byron can barely see. So are you still trying to, how are you handling being told to leave? Like, what's your...
Oh, I'm leaving with them. We're all three going together. I'm just kind of a little smirk on my face, walking with these two people.
Okay, so all three of you get dumped out basically into a back alley. It smells like piss. There are rats scurrying around. Like, this is some real grimy East London back alley nonsense. So, the guy, Byron, continues to scream and bleed. That's all he can do right now is scream and bleed. And then the other guy,
I look at him and go, what's your name?
And his mouth is just like agape, and like he doesn't even, he like barely is like hanging on to his faculties because he's drunk. His friend is bleeding. So he's like, it's
too easy. Demontation.
Okay. Cool. So that is a rouse check from you to use dementation. You have not fed yet, and you need to make another rouse check. I will let you back out now if you want.
Dice is in my hand.
Okay, you got to roll a rouse check for dementation.
That's a 3. I do not get hungrier.
What do you mean a 3?
Wait. No, fuck.
A 3 is a
I rolled
failure.
Yeah. High
There we
is
go.
always good.
Yeah, high is good. I screwed that one up. I had to do it.
It's too much for Tommy. So many times in these recent nights, it's just been too much. Too much stimulus, too much danger to the only person that you love. His life in danger pretty much every night because you still have not identified the threat. Your hunger drove you from your task. And here you are in another dirty alleyway. It could have been any night over the 100 of years that you've lived. And the beast has no problem usurping your corpse as you frenzy. And Tommy is so strong. Tommy is fast. Tommy is a killer. And both men are dead within probably 90 seconds. Drained, lifeless in this back alley. Little far from the Thames now, though. And they lay there as any remaining blood trickles out of them. And your hunger goes down to 0. And you will incur 3 stains. Based on the stain modifier.
Well, he feeds and yeah, that brings me down to 1 willpower.
No,
that zeroed me. That zeroed me.
Not willpower. So yeah, when you drained 2
my willpower.
mortals,
Let me see what I have here for my will. Yeah.
I don't think that takes away from your willpower.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm not sure what you're meaning by willpower.
You get
willpower is not
stains
affected.
that you're going to have to resolve either at the end of this session or at the beginning of next session. And if you fail those rolls, then you lose another humanity.
Yeah.
Okay, so willpower, losing all willpower is not a bad thing right now. I just have to gain those back.
You didn't lose willpower.
You haven't lost any willpower.
Then what did I get my stains on? I'm sorry.
Eating humans all the way.
I know, but I understand. Like, is it on my humanity or on my willpower?
Your humanity.
Your
Okay.
humanity.
Well, the stain
is for your humanity.
Yeah. But you
Okay,
don't
then
take
I'm at
your
a humanity one.
No. You don't take your humanity off. You just add,
Okay.
notate somewhere on your sheet that you have 3 stains. There's not a spot
Gotcha.
on the sheet to do that. You just kind of have to remember it or write it down that you have 3 stains that you have to resolve. They should add a stain tracker on here. I really need one of those too.
Yeah.
They might be trying to dissuade the eating of people.
I really got to have a stain
be.
counter. I'm going to ask, you know what? I'm going to ask Mr. Gons if he'll add a stain tracker to these.
Yeah. Shoot him a DM.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. And so Tommy, we'll take care of those stains later. That's not going to
Gotcha.
be something
I'm with
that
you.
we deal with right now. Okay. So what happened is your hunger went down to 0. Your willpower and humanity are currently unaffected.
Gotcha.
Cool.
I'm with you.
So you are Tommy is in an alley with 2 dead men, lifeless corpses in an alley right behind a pub with people in it. What do you do? Too bad there's no Giovanni in this crew.
Let's see here. I lick the wounds to cover up my track. I'll take my knife out. And they're already dead, so it doesn't matter. I will cut them ear to ear. And then leave.
Cutting them ear to ear isn't even fun for Tommy because no blood comes out. It's a purely... Why does Tommy do that? That's his mark?
That's his thing. It's this most simplistic way of taking care of a body. It's not the kindred didn't do it. It's immortal. It could be immortal. So, I mean, it's not really hiding the body. It's just hiding the fact that I've broken a masquerade breach. So...
Do remember, there are forces that investigate outside of the tower, and marks lead to patterns. That's all I'll say. So you slit them ear to ear in a very unsatisfactory slicing. And what do you do after that?
I will go back to my task.
You leave the bodies there.
I'm leaving the bodies there. I've not left bodies. I've only left one other body. So this is only 3 now.
Okay, that's your prerogative. So you leave the bodies there and you continue north toward Whitechapel. So in that case, with all of that occurring for Tommy, I think Lillian's going to be first because of the car and then the walking. And then I think Rafe and Walter will be arriving pretty soon after that. So Lillian, how are you approaching? Where are you posting up for the moment?
Before we get to the entrance, I guess there's probably a driveway. Is it a long driveway, a short driveway? How's the driveway?
I would say it's a middling sized driveway. So like the entrance, like the front entrances were actually right there on the corner. Mm-hmm. And then the building kind of stretches out in a very like, just kind of a rectangle with some like, like probably some rooms tacked on. So you can kind of pull up into the driveway, and then if you keep going, you'll probably enter one of like the loading dock areas, like the loading areas where other like trucks and vehicles come and go from the facility. So it's
I'm
kind of
not pulling into the driveway. I just needed to know the layout. Essentially, though, I will stop before I get there and get out, and I'm going to tell the driver to I'm gonna guess that he can drive past.
Yeah, he can kind of go up the street.
Essentially, my intention is I'm not gonna necessarily have him stop so much as I'm gonna tell him to slow down very, 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 very much so, to where he's going, but at a pace that I can just kind of get out without him stopping, because I don't want there to be a noticeable stopped vehicle.
Okay, I think then you need to roll Dex and Athletics even to get out of the moving vehicle. Because I don't know what kind of shoes you have on, but...
Sensible. Like, they're sensible. During that time, they didn't have, like super high heels. They had those, like, square, like, weird squared-heeled shoes that are, like, that high. So that's sensible, at least in my day and age. That's sensible.
Yeah. I'd say, sensible.
You got me now, totally not sensible, but then totally. Dex Athletics, I got that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to rouse the blood. I need to.
Okay.
So that I don't fall. 3.
You fairly gracefully are able to step out of the car, and then it continues moving. It speeds up a little bit, and you see the driver take a right at the corner, kind of like going parallel eastward, following the railway, basically.
I essentially have told him to make a giant ass fucking loop and come right the fuck back.
Yep, and that's what he will do. Okay, so you get out.
Mm-hmm.
Where exactly? So you didn't want to go up the driveway.
No, I'm going to, I don't remember exactly what it was that Tommy said that he was going to be, but I'm going in that essential direction.
Okay, so you're going to be walking north away from the facility and towards the railroad tracks, basically. Okay, so you'll basically walk past the building, and
I'm gonna turn on heightened senses as well, because I want to know. And I have since the unseen activated already, but I want to also add heightened senses. I want to know like what is going on in the general area as well. So.
Okay. I mean, the first thing you notice is that Tommy is not there, and he's about to be out of the time window that he told you. It's not quite past yet, but he's probably going to be late from what you can surmise, and the fact that you don't see hide nor hair of him currently. Okay, so why don't you roll? For heightened senses, are you focusing on any one sense in particular?
Probably sound.
Okay. So we'll focus on sound.
I don't want to smell what's going on around here, but I do.
No,
I'm interested in hearing what is happening, and I have Sense the Unseen up, so I can see all kinds of shit, probably.
Well, because we're kind of like now in a different location, I kind of consider this a new scene. So you're going to kind of re-proc Sense the Unseen. So if you just want to roll me again wits and aspects to sort of you're concentrating and actively looking around with Sense the Unseen.
Five.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You blink your eyes, you access your supernatural sight, and you don't notice anyone no one by the railway. No one at this, because you're kind of facing if you're standing at the railway and looking at the building, you're facing like kind of down toward one of the loading docks on the side. You notice that there are 2 loading docks on either side. But you don't see anything at the loading dock. It is quite a ways away from the building, not like a 10-minute walk or anything, but like you're pretty far away. In terms of sounds with your heightened senses, so like Lillian is just very focused in this moment to get the lay of the land as best she can, since no one else is here yet. You just hear little sounds, like you hear little like rocks like moving, like little, like just like kind of gravelly, like somebody stepping on gravel. Like
Can
you
I tell where
hear
it's coming from?
it is in the direction of the loading dock that you're facing. That's really all you hear among some kind of mundane sounds in the distance. You don't hear any voices. You don't hear any other type of sound. It's really just this very faint, like gravel, walking on gravel sorts of sounds. And as I said, for wits and auspex, you don't notice anything at this time. So after doing that, I think Rafe and Walter would be arriving on the scene. I imagine you'd probably be still in an alleyway and you'd kind of be getting dumped out like by one of the loading dock areas. Or if you decide to like proceed that far forward, it's up to you both.
Rafe wouldn't want to go, storming the castle, so to speak, until he's kind of conferred with Walter first. And I've kept heightened senses up the whole time when we were making our way through. And I'm also going to just kind of soak in the atmosphere, pick up what I can. Sight, sound, smells, everything. I want the whole package.
Okay, cool. With your heightened senses, all of your senses up, how close are you to the building?
I would say we, if it's fine with Walter, I think we would probably stay kind of tucked into the alley. We wouldn't actually go onto the main approach. Definitely have eyesight on the building, but we're not getting danger close, so to speak.
Now is the time to be inconspicuous.
Mm-hmm. And I've dropped the act. We're we're here. I'm done acting the drunk.
No.
Okay, so Rafe, in terms of what you hear, you also hear the faint gravel walking sounds, but you also hear something else. It's almost out of the supernatural reach of your heightened senses, but you just catch it if you really like kind of focus in. You think you hear whispering. Coming from inside the building.
Well, there's definitely people there. Does it look like the plant's closed?
Yeah,
okay.
It's definitely there's no vehicles coming and going. There's like nobody that you can see that's like patrolling it. It's very much like looks like locked up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, there's definitely someone in there. At least
Are the windows blacked out, or is there any way to look in? Like, I don't want to go up and investigate. I was thinking more or less like,
can we see lights coming?
If there's like a rooftop or something we can perch on and like kind of peer in.
You could certainly climb to the roof if you wanted to. It would definitely take some doing to see if there's some kind of window or
there's a lot of dissuasion in the way you answered that,
or something like that. I mean, I don't know if it could be. Okay, so in terms of windows, if you're at the loading dock, you can sort of get an idea that there's kind of a large window at the back of the building, and there are windows. I think you would have just seen in your observation that there are 2 windows up at the very front, like the entrance. There's 2 windows on the side of the door, and you don't see lights. You don't see lights on, and you don't notice like that the windows are blacked out or like boarded up. They're just kind of regular looking windows.
Okay.
So, don't know if there's a night watchman or what's going on, but there's definitely some activity there. It's not much.
Let's take a lap with a wide berth, see what we can see.
It's a great idea. And I would actually like, as we're walking, Rafe would just kind of have a little chat with Walter.
Ooh, a chat.
Yeah, a chat. So, how have you been?
I've been great. The group is really coming together. Everybody's getting along splendidly. I am, however, a bit nervous about most things these days.
Well, we've got the situation that we're dealing with, and I mean, I'm new to this existence, but I know enough that when literal gods are waking, it's the little people like me, like us, that end up suffering whatever consequences the powers that be perceive.
It's very cryptic what you said.
Well,
not sure my fat head follows.
I've got 3 dots in academics. Would that be enough to be able to make the historical connection to Mithras? As far as, like, yes, he is the actual, like, Roman god. Or at least...
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, with your writing and academic, yeah, you would know that.
Well, from what I've gathered, I mean, the prince is Mithras from the classical period. He's, for all intents and purposes, he is a god to us.
Let me roll my intelligence in academics. This will be a fun one.
Okay, sure.
I don't know who you're talking about. Mithras.
You rolled already?
Yeah.
You got what, none?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Walter you don't make the connection to this like pretty like ancient god of like fertility and the sun. You don't make those connections at all.
Don't even tell me. It won't matter. Yeah. But I what you're saying has gravity, and I don't know if it matters or not. But I'm trying to look after my own little corner of this world, and it just so happens that this Mithras is in my corner of the world, and the easiest way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So don't go filling my head with all of this grandiose stuff. Right now, we're getting these assholes out of my neighborhood, and then we'll talk about what's next.
Right. Well,
and I would recommend you get out of that fucking head of yours and start eating that elephant one bite at a time.
Rafe kind of nods, lights up a cigarette. I'm not going to rouse. Again, it's more out of habit. Trying to blend in. Well, when forces greater than yourself start to, if you'll pardon the language, fuck with your life. You've got to do what you can, and the one bite at a time is how I'm trying to do it. But
you were on those front lines. You saw what might versus might did on the Western Front. You saw what happened when people tried to go over the top and match numbers and try to fight fire with fire. It didn't work for anyone.
right.
With me, we got those tanks and we made a little bit of headway. So maybe we should start thinking, or you should start thinking, thinking's not my thing. But if we are going up against people who can punch harder than we can punch, maybe we can find some tanks to get around those punches.
Well, let's see if my little manipulation worked and we got the tank to show up.
Perfect.
Okay, so Brafe and Walter have their conversation, and Tommy, you're going to be arriving. You're probably coming more from the
He's
eastern
got a pep
side
in
of
his
things.
step. He's
I'm moving a little bit quicker.
Yeah,
I don't know what's
he's-
going on.
So proud of himself right now.
He's like, whoa, I feel great.
Wow, this is yeah. Oh my. So yeah, you're coming over the eastern side of things, and eventually, like, how are you approaching? Are you going toward the railway like you said, or what's the deal?
My move is to go north to the railway, and where the rail, where the train will come in, and they'll have the docks. That's the platform, so they can unload the stuff off the trains and move it to there. I'm gonna sit on the platform facing the doors of the warehouse and just sit there and look.
Okay, so you, like Lillian, are looking at the kind of like the back and side of the building. So you cannot see like the front entrance area. So are you, why don't you just roll wits and awareness for me?
Cool. Dice down. Four.
So you're unusually focused now with no hunger to impede your
Yeah.
cognitive processes.
Sanguine
So-
Ritalin.
I mean, where's the lie? You're looking at the back of the building, you're looking at the sides of the building. On the sides of the buildings, you see there's on each side there is like a big covered truck. There are two big covered trucks. That's all you can notice from them from that far away. You also see that at the back of the building, and Lillian, you would see this too, there's large windows, like very large. They look too nice to be on this building. It's actually weird because everything here is kind of run down, and even the building isn't very nice. Like, it's not nice construction. Like, there's some peeling and rot at certain points, but the windows are like, they're just incredible. They're incredibly constructed, and they look like cleaner than normal as well. There are no lights on that you could see from the windows. And but Tommy, out of the corner of your eye, as you're scanning these windows, closer to the corner of the street, the window closest to the corner of the street, you see just like a flutter of movement, but it goes out of your sight extremely fast, like from inside the building. Despite the darkness, there is this just flutter of movement, but that's all you notice in regards to that. So, Lillian, are you joining Tommy on this platform? Are you approaching him?
If I see him, then yeah, I will go to him. And once I get there, I'm just going to take one look at him and just, I should have known.
Sorry about the wait there.
Mm-hmm. I see that you managed to keep yourself occupied a bit. You might want to clean up a bit. You're going to essentially give yourself away.
At this point in time, I don't think it matters if I give myself away.
Fair point. Tommy, darling, once we are done here, I would greatly appreciate it if you would accompany me back to my humble abode. I would love to have a conversation with you about a few things of interest.
We could do that, but as I said before, work comes first.
Pay attention now. There are sounds over there.
I'm looking, and I'm assuming that there are some like bigger doors on the north side since the trail road's right there. I'm assuming there's like loading zones and stuff that would go to the warehouse. Am I right on that, storyteller?
So the loading zones are not like at the back that you're seeing. Like, what I also want to make clear is like the railway, it's very like open. Like it's not like blocked off. Like it's a very large open space with not a lot of like things hanging around. So the loading docks for this building are on the sides of the building. They're not right there at the back.
Okay. So I'm just staring at the windows. You think Rafe and Walter have made it to the building yet?
Potentially. It depends on how slowly they decided to walk. If they're anything like you, no offense, darling, you have to understand you did keep me waiting about 5 to 10 minutes longer than you said you would be here. So, but probably at this point they surely are, but not over on this side, clearly. How much trouble do you think they're going to get into?
I don't think they'll get into much. I don't see just the two of them walking into this place alone. They're probably on the other side. Well,
Walter's a smart one. He is the one that's going to stop anything if it happens. But Rafe is very stubborn, and he's very, I'm going to do this because somebody told me I can't.
I have faith in Walter.
Fair point.
And they're together. So Walter won't do anything to cause any issues with him. But I feel that if they do make a noise and they startle what is in there is something there.
Worst case scenario, they're going to be fantastic distractions.
And they'll come to the side. Do you see those vehicles to the side there?
Storytelling.
Next to the cargo?
I see them, yes. That's what you said, yeah. I see those.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I do. And just moments ago, I heard gravel, what sounded like someone moving around over there. And I'll point to the direction where I heard it. What do you think it could be? I mean, it could be nothing. It could be rats or cats or I don't know. Probably not heavy enough to be the creatures that we have already encountered, and To be fair, I kind of sort of thought that we might have mostly handled that, considering the state we left the last one, but whatever. We'll do it again, no problem there. I suppose.
What I think, if those beasts, those gargoyles, are in that building,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to keep them on a secretive mission, they'll go into those vehicles. So maybe we sneak over there and we make sure those vehicles don't leave.
Oh, very well. I'm sure you can handle that. I don't really know what you expect me to do in that case, but I have full
Just watch.
confidence that you can. Perfect.
Keep an eye.
Absolutely, I can do that.
If you see anything,
Not
hold
a
on to it.
problem.
Let me know.
I will be sure to do such a thing. Yes. Not a problem.
Well, time to do the work. And I will poof.
Hands can't get dirty, you know.
Your unseen passaging once again.
Yes.
That's a rouse check.
Oh, I'm not too worried about this now. So
Well, no, but still has to be done.
I passed a 7. I know how to do the
Okay.
D10 again.
Great. So you do not grow hungrier and you disappear from sight. It's at this point that Rafe and Walter can probably spot Lillian up on that railway platform because, like I said, it's really not obscured by anything. So,
Well, I was right. The tank is
Also
here.
mute. I look at Rafe. It's like, well, Miss Crawford's up on the bridge. I don't see Tommy, so I think we should rendezvous with Miss Crawford before compare notes and see what's inside the thing.
Right. Well, here goes nothing. And Rafe's gonna go walk up to Lillian. And you'll notice he's covered in sick.
Took you long enough, but I see you also took a detour. I say, for you, all of you really, for being so, what is the word, hell-bent on ensuring that this little walkabout happens, you are the last to arrive.
You just seem a bit too eager, Miss Crawford. We were getting a lay of the land. It was totally mission critical.
Not eager, just punctual, darling, but that's fine.
Well, while you were back here, we were out front.
And what did you find?
There's definitely someone inside the building. And I heard something moving, like someone walking on rocks.
Oh, you don't say. Just shh. I
But
believe-
more importantly, unless the storyteller tells me differently, we didn't see any sentries posted up around the building.
Okay, no, watch for a moment. Just, if you don't mind, just shh. You see, Tommy is already in the process of trying to ensure that escapes can't happen. And yes, you are absolutely correct. You see, there have been movements. Gravel, right? That's what you had. Movements on like stones, little bitty stones. It was right over there. And if you notice that way, right, just right there, that glass, not really fitting for a building of this caliber.
No, it looks new.
Precisely. Yes, indeed. So, glad you could join us. Honestly, I really am. And once Tommy has finished, we can continue this little adventure, if you will.
Do we even know what's in there? Or is that
Not
what
a
Tommy's
clue yet.
figuring out?
Now, Tommy is disabling vehicles from whoever, so that should we need to make a hasty retreat, or if they try to take vehicles and do things with those vehicles, they can't.
Look, I'm not going to go charging in. I'm just surveying the area. I'm not going...
No, of course, darling. No one said you were charging anywhere. I'm just saying that we are covering bases first to make sure that nothing does charge back.
Very well, then. We'll wait for Tommy to tell us
good.
that the deed is done.
Fantastic. I'm so glad you thought of that.
I'm rolling a willpower.
So have you thought of a plan too?
I was like, wow, this is the first time I've heard a woman mansplain.
I got 3 on my
Lillian
willpower.
is such a horrible character. She's so bad.
That'll do it. You don't.
It's so hard to be this mean. I swear to God.
There's probably like
Tommy
the
feels you
briefest
there.
twitch of his lip wanting to curl up into
Definitely.
a snarl, but now he's keeping it under control.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna cut over to Tommy. What direction are you approaching? Where are you going?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh yeah, I am moving, not towards the building, but towards the vehicles.
Okay, so to be clear, the vehicles are very closely parked
Yeah,
near the loading dock site, so they're very close to the building.
gotcha. I'm gonna as soon as I get closer to the vehicle, I'll be on the vehicle street side rather than the vehicle building side.
You want to go to the vehicle street side.
Yes.
Okay, great. So you're unseen and you're approaching. So you're like facing. You're like running along Cable Street where this loading dock is. So you approach from the back, and this truck that you're trying to get to is like, you'll have to like go all the way down, like all the way through the loading dock area. This one's parked kind of at the front corner of the building.
Okay.
So give me Dex and Stealth.
Five.
Not only are you invisible, but you're also silent. Your footfalls make no noise. You're able to stealthily basically cross and go all the way down to the front corner of the building, and you get to the truck.
Okay. I am going to go underneath the front of the truck, and like a rat in an old Corvette, I'm just going to start taking my stiletto and taking wires out.
Okay.
I don't know that much about automobiles, so I don't know exactly which one I'm cutting.
So you're just kind of like, at will, just.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a roll. One moment, please.
Go for it. I feel like all the wires have to be important. There's no AC or anything in that vehicle.
Okay, so you cut the wires. You cut a bunch of stuff underneath this truck, and you think that probably did it. I mean, as you said, you don't really know automobiles, and these are the very old style of like some of the first. So like, you're pretty sure you disabled it, and you also were able to. You're still doing it quietly. It doesn't make too much noise. It's pretty, the cables kind of breaking is a negligible sound. And I think at this point, we're going to take a short break. So thank you, everyone who's been with us so far. Please hydrate, take a stretch, and we will see you in just a few minutes with London's Bleeding. Hello. Welcome back to Martlet Games and our Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle, London's Bleeding. Before the break, our coterie is scoping out a bottling plant and fine glass facility in East London. Tommy has already made his way unseen to disable one of the 2 trucks that are in the loading zones. And as of right now, Rafe, Walter, and Lillian are north by the railway, kind of awaiting Tommy's work. So we will go back to Tommy here. You've probably disabled this vehicle as far as you know. You've done it stealthily. You haven't made a bunch of noise. What's next for Tommy?
How many vehicles were there?
2. So you have disabled 1. So there is another one on the other side of the building.
Well, I mean, the mission isn't a success if they just go the other door into that vehicle. So I have to walk around and secure that one.
Okay, so are you walking around the back of the building or the front of the building when you do this?
We'll walk around the back.
Okay, so you still have unseen passage up, no problem there. But go ahead and give me another Dex and Stealth, please.
Sure. That's a 3.
Yeah, you're continuing pretty stealthy. Maybe you almost like step on a rogue piece of glass or something else that would make a noise, but you kind of are able to avoid it at the last second. Give me wits and awareness as well, please.
Absolutely. That's a 3 as well.
As you are moving around the back of the building, if you weren't in unseen passage, Rafe and Lillian and Walter would probably see you, your figure, but they don't. Well, Lillian does. Lillian sees you, but Tommy, you see as you're moving across that there is a back exit door, and it's not like the front of the facility where it's like 2 massive like double doors, but there is kind of like it's like a black metal door. There's no like sign above it or anything, but it does look like a door to inside and outside of this building. So you'll move past the windows there at the back of the building. Similarly, on the other side, as you round the corner, you see another similar door. Black metal door, just like a back exit, maybe an emergency exit, something like that. So now you are on the other side of the facility, and it's in another loading dock area. And this truck isn't as far front, like to where you would be going around to get to the front. So it's kind of more in like the middle of the loading area. I'm gonna get one more Dex and Stealth from you here.
That's a 5.
Fantastic. So you once again, I mean, the fact that your beast is quiet and slumbering allows you to have even better focus than normal here. So you're able to move very, very silently towards this next truck. Same method as before, sliding under, cutting some wires.
Yep.
Okay, I am going to make a quick roll. You do so. You cut the wires in your layman's disabling of this automobile. You think you've done the job doing that. So where are you heading after this? You're kind of still positioned under the car.
Okay, I will remove myself from under the vehicle. Is there... The 2 metal doors are on the back and the side here. And the big open doors in the front.
Yeah, so, and you would have seen these on Rafe's drawing that he did. So the first exit you notice is pretty solidly in this back corner. And then the other one that you saw is not so much in the corner, but on the side close to the loading docks, which are next to these big like garage doors that are like fully shut.
Okay. I will take a note of that and I will head back to the crew.
Okay, and we'll say that you similarly are able to move stealthily and you rejoin the crew after just a few more minutes. So you were probably at work for, I mean, it was pretty fast, like 15 minutes or so. You were able to get this done. It's not this massive facility. Like it had to be small to fit in these cramped city quarters. So it's kind of, it's a medium-sized building at best. So yeah, Tommy, you rejoin the rest of the coterie, or you're still obfuscated, but we'll say now that you're back up there at the railway.
Oh. I'll pop back in.
Fantastic. Look, see?
The vehicles are, I think, immobilized. We have those 3 doors. If something leaves this building, they won't be able to leave quickly. They'll have to bolt out of here and fly or run.
Yeah, about that. Storyteller, how many stories tall is this building?
Just one.
I'd like to just, with heightened senses, I want to just take a gander at the roof from where we're at, see if I can spot anything up on top that we might have missed.
Okay, roll wits and awareness then, in addition to the heightened senses here.
Okay. Oh, 1 second. Okay. 1, 2. 2 successes.
Okay, so you really focus like with your vision to like see the top of this building, and you don't really have a higher ground, but you have like a very mild elevation because of this dock that Tommy identified. So it's kind of hard to see because there's like this around the back. It's not just like a flat wall. There's like a another, like there's another like room back there, like a larger room, like kind of tacked on to the building. And on the roof, you can see just over that like addition that there are little chimneys. There are like 3 of them. They're black, and there's no smoke or anything coming out of them, but they're there on the top of the building.
No movement though?
No movement on the roof.
Okay.
All right, now. So, what is it all of you want to do now?
Well, it's quiet. We've gone through the trouble. Is anyone feeling frisky to go take a quick look inside or not?
So let me just be clear, in case I missed something, which is entirely possible. We know that this is a building and that the cars have been futzed with.
Right.
Everything else is murky.
That's, yes.
Yes, indeed. That is,
Okay. What do we expect to find in there?
Gargoyles, maybe? Perhaps those little winged creatures we've run across already, or I don't know, maybe.
Okay, so there's gargoyles.
We heard. What was the name of the one it said it loved? The one, was it a Regina? No, was it Regina? I don't remember.
Regina Bollingsworth.
Was it Regina? That's right.
Bollingsworth.
That one is inside, and that one's actual lover is inside, because clearly the gargoyle thing is not working for them. So
I walked all this way, so I'm not recommending that we go home now. I'm just saying at this point I really think we need our stealthy guy. Looking at you, Tommy. You're going to be running point on this. Subtlety is not my best suit.
You could just knock on the door and see who answers.
Do we want to see what's inside, or do we want to see what comes outside?
I'd rather see what's inside. If we knock on the door, they can always shut the door. Now we've announced our presence.
Oh, that was a joke.
Or we drive them out of the building.
Hold your hand up next time you make a joke. I can't tell with you.
I thought it was very obvious.
It's very dry, but...
Why would I suggest knocking on the door when we are trying to be stealth-like?
Who knows? You're a serious person.
That makes no sense, Mr. Price. I expected better of you, but here we are.
Well, there are those perfectly good windows that look freshly installed. Maybe
anyone have a good arm can throw a stone perhaps in it. See what happens.
Goddamn kids, my brand new windows.
I think I have an idea of how to drive them out. And they'll come out, and I point over to the 2 metal doors, and they'll come out of those doors.
Oh, Tommy.
So, just out of curiosity, darlings, what are we going to do once they have emerged from this facility? Are we just taking count?
These are the important questions.
We see what we see, and then we get the hell out of here.
So we're just going to take count then? No action.
Our main battle.
Action.
This isn't our main battle. This is surveillance.
Oh, no, of course not. I was just trying to make sure that we were all on the same page, because a lot of times we are not on the same page. So now we are.
So
Fantastic.
if we only had a distraction on the outside to get all their eyes looking at me or whoever the distraction is, and then the people who are good at not being seen could get in and do some seeing.
Are you volunteering to be a distraction, Mr. Price?
Is anybody else volunteering to be a distraction?
Oh, heavens, no, not
I will
today.
find a volunteer.
Tommy,
Lillian and Rafe roll wits and awareness.
Tommy, as far as I know, you're the only one that can go indivisible into my eye. So,
Well, people still can see me depending on who they are, and we don't know who they are.
Storyteller.
6 critical.
Does my heightened senses weigh into this?
so if they do see you, we do know who they are.
Yes, I would say both of you could add 1 die to your pool for heightened, because Lillian, you have that up as well, I think.
7 critical.
Jeez.
I'm gonna roll.
Are we not far enough away to have a convo without them hearing us?
I'm spending a.
The railway is decently far away from the building. Like it's. I'm not the
We're
best.
just in the middle of a conversation.
Distance.
while
As I say, yeah, we're having a loud argument at their back door.
5 crit.
5 crit.
Not
Okay,
talking
so
loudly.
5 crit and a 7 crit. Lillian and Rafe, both of you here with your heightened senses of hearing here. Rafe, I think it was you that heard whispers before.
Yes.
Now both of you hear not a whisper, but a hiss.
Oh dear.
And
Is that
very strange.
so it would appear that someone or something is now hissing.
That didn't sound like a cat to me.
No, not like a cat so much, but something. There's a very distinguished hissing sound. And earlier I heard gravel shifting about like someone was walking over there. So perhaps we have been made already. What do you make of that now, Mr. Price? Tommy? Shall we
Let's
knock
go
on the door?
investigate, see who it is.
Well, if no one's going to volunteer, I definitely. And I look at Lillian. I definitely fit the bill of someone disposable now. I've got no problem doing it.
I couldn't agree more.
And I'm going. Whatever she's gonna say, I'm just ignoring her, and I'm just. I'm going back into the stumbling drunk act, just in case they haven't spotted us yet.
Gentlemen,
Okay.
I'm going to allow you to keep close tabs on that one. Don't want him to muck things up and all. I'm going to go and ensure that we have a method of escaping this should it go terribly, terribly wrong.
Much obliged.
Okay,
Lean into
so
our strengths.
So, Rafe, you're doing the stumbling drunk act. Where are you going exactly?
They said knock on the door. I'm gonna go knock on the closest door that I can see.
I just want to note that I was not serious
Okay.
about that. That was Lillian being funny. That's her idea of funny. And clearly you did not take it.
Okay, so, Rafe, you're going to walk up to that back corner door on the back of the building, the black. Are you trying to? You're not trying to approach stealthily because you're doing the drunk thing. So you go up to the door. You notice that there is a chain and a lock on the door, like a big padlock type of thing. Are you knocking on the door?
No, I see that, and I'm getting the hell out of here.
Okay, so there's no. Okay, so you go back toward the railway.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rafe sees that chain and lock and turns on a heel and is back up.
Sobers
there at
up
the
in about's
railway.
face. Yeah.
I'll just
what-
shake
what-
my head. Mr. Price,
What'd you see, Rafe?
Oh, I'll let Steve.
Mr. Price, you and Ray find a place to hide and stare at the doors. I'll make sure they come out.
And that's I'll probably walk into the tail end of that. Well, no one's coming out that door. It's chained and locked from the outside.
Keep an eye on the glass then. And I will head off. Now, what is the neighborhood? What's the neighboring buildings next to this place? Are there any occupants in any of these places near where we're at?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. So on Cable Street, across the street from the facility, there is a primary school. Now, it is nighttime, so there is no activity there. There shouldn't be any activity there. On the other cross street, Ensign, there's a couple of shops, closed shops. Again, there's no activity. There's not really a pub around that you could see. There's not it's not like the way that Rafe and Walter were coming up, where there were kind of some bars here and there. This is sort of entering some residential, some industrial. There's probably another factory or facility around there. So does that answer your question?
Yes. Okay. I'm going to go to a residential place.
Okay.
Nearby, within walking distance. Hopefully I don't have to go too far. I want to try to do this as quick as possible.
Which way are you going to find a residence?
Closer to the south side, next to the door, big door.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to go in said residence. And
okay,
I'm going to...
Whoa. Wait a minute now.
Mm-hmm.
You're going into a residence. So are you knocking on a door? Are you breaking a window? Are you
No,
these
I'm
residences that have people in them, presumably.
I'm breaking in. I'm breaking into the house.
In what way are you breaking in? Are you breaking a window? Are you forcing the door open? What are you doing?
Forcing the door open.
Okay.
I'm going to find a mortal, wake them up.
There is a man and a woman sleeping in their bed.
I'm going to wake up the man and use mesmerize. Make sure I'm using this right. Yes.
Okay. So mesmerize is
a rouse check and my manipulation versus dominate to issue a complex command.
I thought you had, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought your dominate skills were cloud memory, dementation, and terminal decree.
Then I will use terminal decree, but I'm not going to use it.
Because I'm I don't think you have mesmerize.
Okay, I guess terminal decree will get the job done without... I'm not going to do anything too crazy here.
Okay,
it's a human, it's pretty much non-contested.
Oh yeah, I know. What are you telling this man to do?
Take a bottle of alcohol, stick a rag in it, throw it at that door, call the fire department.
He just goes completely blank face and starts to move toward his small kitchen to find some brown and a rag. The woman is has fully stirred, and she's pulling the covers up around her, and she goes,
Cloud memory.
"Who are you? What are you doing?" Okay.
She'll forget the current moment and a past few minutes. So they forget the past few minutes of what happens.
Okay, you. I just want to make sure, I'm respecting the mechanics of this power here. So
yes,
it's not going to be a contested roll because it's an unprepared party that you're doing this to. So she's going to forget, but she's still awake and there. so she's going to be seeing what's occurring still. So it seems like, do you want to wait? Or I don't know how you want to do this, because you'll forget. She'll forget that you came in and that you told her husband to do that, but you're still right there.
That is a good question. If I do the cloud memory, do I have time to move out of the way so she doesn't see me? Storyteller, maybe you have to make that call on your fly.
Let me. I'm just gonna take a look at the sheet here.
I can't help too much, but if you did cloud memory, so you made her forget the what the fuck, situation. If you immediately use like something like terminal decree on her, then you can essentially tell her to continue to forget and not remember the night in general. You can stack abilities. You can stack all of your abilities, legitimately. Yeah. You don't just have to use terminal decree on this person and I can't use it on this person. You can use terminal decree on this person and then on this person and then this person. You just have to make the separate rolls for each one. So you cloud memory this person to forget what's going on if you want to, or you can just terminal decree them and be like, you remember nothing about this night ever.
Does that work with you, storyteller?
Yeah. So you'll cloud memory, and then you'll basically terminal decree right after that she'll forget, and then that she'll forget this entire.
I'll even make it better. You'll remember that your husband was in bed all night. That way, when the police show up and ask why this man is throwing a Molotov, he was in bed with me all night.
That works too, yeah.
I would like to state right now that I think terminal decree is so OP.
But it is so OP. It's so
because there's no rouse check, and the instructions are like 3 sentences, so you can just do whatever you want.
Yes.
So this is my bane as a storyteller is this ability. Okay, so you will cloud her memory.
Do whatever.
He will forget. She will forget. She will think her husband's bed all night. And because you literally used 2 dominate powers on her in a row, she is just going to pass out, essentially. She's just going to become unconscious because her brain cannot take being rolled like twice in a row like that. So, okay, so you do that. The man has assembled his Molotov cocktail in his off-white, dirty night shirt and his bare feet. He walks out into the cold night. And
I'm walking back, by the way, when this is happening. Like, I'll walk out the door before he does.
You're walking back to the railway.
Yeah.
Okay. So the man walks out. If anyone is looking at him, you could see he's just shivering, like head to toe, shaking with this bottle in his hand, just with grim determination, moving toward the building. And remind me exactly what you told him to do. Build this Molotov cocktail and then
throw it at the south side of the building.
So the south side of the building would be
near the big doors.
Near the front.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So he walks around to the front of this building. He doesn't even see these letters on the front, Bollingsworth Fine Glass. He's basically looking through the windows in this reception area, essentially, and he lights it with a match and throws it through the window into...
Oh, no, not in. At the door.
Sorry.
Like in the front.
Oh, just out at the door. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want him to burn the building down. I want him to cause a distraction.
What did you say?
He do? I said throw it at the door.
Okay, that's fine.
Check the tape.
So
Check the tape. Rewind
so
it.
he will. The man will, white as a sheet, hair sticking out in weird places, shaking from head to toe. He will throw it at the door. It does break, and there is a small fire in front of the building. I need to make some rolls, so give me 1 second here. And one thing is, you will notice that as soon as he throws it and it hits the door, it shatters, and then the orange and yellow and white flames just like kind of lay there on the ground, just like slowly growing. He just stands there. I'm sorry, did you tell him to do something else?
The third part of that terminal decree was to run to the fire department.
Run to the fire department. Okay, so he maybe stands there for 1 to 2 seconds. And then he's probably a long-time Eastern Londoner, so he will just run off in that direction. We're going to say towards the south. This man is running. Okay, so now some rolls for me as Tommy rejoins the coterie at the railway.
Well, that
smoke him out of the tunnel.
Subtle. It works, I guess.
If it works, it works.
And
You're muted there, Ben.
So how do we get inside the building?
We don't.
We just watch and see what happens.
We wait for them to leave the building. Now, I'm assuming whatever's in there is going to want to get away before either A, the fire department shows up, or B, the fire reaches them, and they will hightail it out of there.
Do we have anybody watching underground? See if they don't have any tunnels out of there?
No.
That's a chance we're taking here.
Well, ooh, wait. That just something just clicked, and I think we might have also figured out where all the Nosferatu are coming from. Great.
If they're building Nosferatu to turn into gargoyles, and Nosferatu live in the sewers, that's probably where they're evacuating to.
There's 3 of us. 2 of us can go to the streets. 1 watch the door.
Miss Crawford, I don't expect you want to go into the sewer, do you?
Miss Crawford's not there. She went to
She went to go get the car.
Acquire a getaway car.
Okay, so Lillian has left this part of the railway.
Yes, I went to meet up with my car, essentially. I know what direction it's going to be coming back from, so I'm meeting it so that I can instruct them to, with haste, to make it back to the location to pick that thought up.
Step 1, throw Molotov. Step 2, retreat.
Results.
Step 4, profit.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Several things happen at once.
Of course they do.
I just want to point out, Lillian's not dumb. She left the fucking scene of the crime already.
Yeah.
Listen,
so
I play by 2 rules. You do something smart, and if that doesn't work, you do something dumb.
Okay, so Lillian has basically exuded the scene to intercept the driver, basically. So she is basically not in this for the moment. So with your heightened senses, Rafe, and Lillian, probably you hear this as you're walking away, but Rafe, this is so overstimulating and so horrifying, you just hear a high-pitched shriek coming from inside the building. Just an absolute shriek of terror. And immediately you hear like lots of activity from inside the building start to happen. There are voices overlapping, but you can't tell what they're saying. Lillian, you hear the shriek, but it's not like, it doesn't bother you as much because you're further away. And Tommy and Walter, it's a little harder to hear, but you kind of it's one of those like, oh, I think I heard that.
Lillian is probably just like, she hears it and she goes, oh, that can't be good. For them.
And then...
For them. Not good for them. Because I did my smart and crazy thing. I left you lot to handle that while I went to go and get the getaway car.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing that happens is all of you have good enough vision to see this, and they're moving fast. There are two figures both on the sides of the loading dock that suddenly poof into existence and are running straight for Tommy, Walter, and Rafe at the railway. They are absolutely...
Why are they running at us?
We're here.
Because you're here. And
Sorry,
you're
guys.
hanging out by a railway with no cover at all. One of them is just running at a very fast clip, and you see like where Tommy had disabled the car, he leaps. He makes a soaring leap, and he is now will reach you momentarily. The other guy's got a minute or two, but the other guy is basically approaching you, the three of you. You see, actually, I need to make another roll. Oh my lord.
Did we fuck up your plans?
Oh man. So
By getting ourselves killed, absolutely.
So funny because a joke was made about this in the chat earlier. You see a gargoyle smash through the back glass, shrieking at the top of their lungs and flying away incredibly fast northward.
Well, I was right about that. Shit.
I got your lift. Never mind.
And Rafe, you continue to hear as the just beats and moments pass, the more activity there is inside the building, the more voices you hear, the more like it's so okay. You have a person that just soaring leaped, and he picks himself up and he walks towards you, and he's got a dagger out, and he is going immediately for Walter.
Now, calm down, son.
And
I'm ready.
Walter.
I get ready, but
he's not stopping. He doesn't.
Okay.
It's like he didn't even hear you.
Walter, this is the time to act.
okay.
I get my dagger. I get my stiletto out.
I guess
I
we're gonna
love
do some
Walter and
brawling.
how polite he is.
It's very thoughtful.
Excuse me, sir. Please put away your knife.
I give you
He gave him a
one
shot.
last chance.
Gave him a shot.
I appreciate that.
I've got something for this here. I do have rapid reflexes, so if possible, I would like the opportunity to act first, storyteller.
Okay, yeah, you do have rapid reflexes, so yes, you may act before anything else goes down.
Okay. I'm going to rouse my dex.
Okay.
I'm still hunger 1, so still good there.
Nice.
I want to try to, as he's making his approach, I want to sidestep him with my trench knife and try to hamstring him.
Pardon me, guys.
Okay. Hamstring him with your trench knife.
Yep.
Cool. Sure. Go ahead and give me Dex and Melee.
One, two, 3 successes.
You're lucky. Lucky. So, you successfully, he's focused on trying to attack Walter. You've got that supernatural sense that gives you time to act. So you, with your trench knife, just pull it across his hamstring, and he kind of goes down, and he's like on all fours, and he is grunting and bleeding, and he has a look of pain for a second, and then he looks at Rafe and he says, try all you like. You've got way bigger problems than me right now. I suggest you make haste away from here immediately.
I had to make sure you weren't going to be giving us any trouble on our way out. And I'm backing up. Yeah.
And he is going to, let's see. Just gonna take. He is going to just. Did you try to slice one?
Just one.
Hamstring? Just one? Okay, so he gets up on his one good knee, like he kind of plants his foot on the ground, and he turns to Tommy and is coming in at your gut with like an overhead stab with this knife.
Tommy, why'd you get so close?
Question before I decide on how I'm going to fix this.
Yeah.
Is there any like wood pallets or anything wooden around us?
Let's say there are some empty barrels. There's not a ton of things around here because the railways have just started opening. So like everything is kind of a little bit empty still, but there is like a very old looking, like rotted, like 2 or 3 barrels that's on that dock. So there's those.
Okay. And the second question I have, this is more kindred lore here. Do stakes have to be wooden?
Yes.
They do. Wanted to make
Yep.
sure. Okay. This is gonna hurt. I'm gonna take the blow. And with one hand, I'm going to hold on to him. and tell Walter to smash a barrel and stake this guy.
Okay.
Well, both hands. But hold on to
Okay,
him.
I'm gonna make a quick roll here. Oh no, I can't do that. Okay. Ooh. Alrighty. Tommy, I need you to roll stamina and occult.
It's not that bad of a roll for me. Somehow.
Or fortitude. I don't think you have fortitude.
No fortitude for me.
Okay. Yeah, stamina and occult, please.
3.
3.
3.
Okay. As you take this stab in the gut from this knife, you don't think in your century or two under your belt as a kindred that you felt anything like this. It burns. Your beast screams. The pain starts out in a pulsing nucleus and explodes like lightning through your body, and you take 2 aggravated damage.
Yikes.
How many aggravated? 2? 3?
2.
2? Okay.
You also need to I need you to roll stamina and occult one more time.
That's a 4.
Okay. Nothing additional happens to you. So you took your damage there. And so you instructed Walter then to hold him and stake him?
No, I'm holding him. Like I took it as he stabbed me. I'm holding him.
Okay.
And I told Walter to break a barrel and stake him.
Okay, Walter,
So-
you're up.
Follow me on this. I have craft melee weapon. So
Oh.
I was going to use my strength to break this barrel over this fella's head in the attempt to make a stake at the same time, or at least a stabbable weapon. Maybe not a great looking stake, but some kind of splintery wood.
So you're hoping that in smashing the barrel over his head, it will like create a jagged edge of wood that you can then scoop up and stake.
Yes,
Okay, great. I just want to make sure I understand you.
got it.
So this is what we will do. The barrel is, like I said, it's old. There is some rot in it. There is not going to be a roll required for you to like pick up this barrel and smash it on his head. He's like on his knees. Has his arm basically still extended into Tommy. Like he can't really stop.
I'm not
this
even
from
expecting
happening.
to do any damage to him with the barrel. I'm
No,
just
you
using
won't.
his head as a break.
Right. There will be no damage when you do that. But I do want you to make a roll, however.
Yes.
So what we will do is you will roll dex and then your craft melee weapon, and you can add that 1 extra die because you have that specialty. So you're going to be rolling dex, and so I think that's a pool of 4 for you if you don't
It
rouse.
is 4. That's right.
Okay.
So I got a 4.
4 successes?
4. But both of my hunger die are 10.
Messy crit.
So that's a messy crit. So you have the 2 hunger die that are 10, and then what are the other 2 are?
The other one's a 9 and a 1. So I get the extra
so
plus 1 because of the double 10.
So that's
5.
5.
No.
Okay.
No. Because I got 3
are
outright
doubled.
and then a bonus. Oh, are they both doubled? Okay.
The 10s.
Well,
When you get 2 10s, they double.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's 5 then.
Okay, so you have 5 and you have a messy crit as well. Okay. A few things. Make some rolls here for me.
I don't know if it was like super messy, like uber messy crit.
No, there's no like gradation of messy crit. It's just a messy crit or it's not. I'm just referencing something really quick. Yeah, everybody's messy critting this evening.
Oh,
I rolled
except
like
for me,
shit
darling.
for
I
a
don't
month.
messy crit to anything. I just crit.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you just crit. I don't miss
The
it.
evening's
I just
still
crit.
young, though.
That is very true. Very, very true.
Okay. This is what I want. Because I want to see what's going to happen to Walter here. Okay. So this is what happens. Walter, you pick up this old barrel. It almost like it's so close to simply like disintegrating into damp and rot. But as it smashes on this man's head, you so deftly, before it even hits the ground, you catch a jagged piece of wood in your hand. And you feel a surge in you, in your blood, an uncontrollable feeling that you must exert dominance in this situation. You, Walter Price, have to prove that you are the strongest. You've spent your life and your unlife cultivating strength in those around you, and most importantly, in yourself. And you are ready to show these people in the coterie that probably underestimate you and yourself that you are the strongest person here right now on this night in London. So what that means for you mechanically is that instead of taking this unholy weapon that you conjured out of nothing, basically, and that you caught in the air, instead of driving the stake through his heart, you step back and you begin to taunt this man. What does that sound like? You are here to magnify his weakness. You cannot focus on the objective of staking.
It's
You
going
must.
to be vulgar and demeaning and very projecting. He's like, you. What's he look like? Does he look like a...
Okay, he actually looks like his face is covered in scales and he's got spines protruding from his back. And it's green and yellow,
Yeah.
like decay. And you can see the scales on his hands. Any exposed skin, you see scales. And he's probably smaller than average build. Kind of a lean scrappiness about him.
Yeah.
And he has no hair.
No, I get vulgar. It's like, you disgusting. Hang on. You gotta get out of my HR head. But yeah, he's like, you disgusting pussy, letting me and 3 mongrels come into your house. And I step on him and I take whatever I have with me and is he still on his knees? Like, what's he doing? Did I knock him to the ground?
He's
fuck it, I knock him on the ground.
He's knocked on the ground.
I squat over his chest and I just start beating the shit out of his face while just just again mocking him, being vulgar, disgusting.
Absolutely. So Walter mercilessly beats this person. His hand drops the dagger that he was holding. He's really
I think now's a good time.
At this point.
Is there some so feral weapons, I'm trying to figure out a way to get this going.
Okay.
Is there a way, because it's not going to be something as claws or something, but is there like some sort of like way to have like raised calluses or like protruding knuckles or something that could act as my feral weapons?
Yeah, I mean, feral weapons, it's kind of like up to the player how that manifests. So I would say if you wanted something like protruding knuckles, I'd say that's very within the realm of what a feral weapon can be.
Because he's a brawler, he's a beater.
Totally. Yeah. So you're kind of imagining on the fists, like the knuckles are really like enlarging.
Like Doomsday from Death of Superman.
I don't understand that reference, but
kind of
everybody
like
else
Rocky
is
spikes.
nodding their head.
Yeah, like Rocky spikes coming out of my.
Okay, yeah, I would say that's totally valid. I'm just gonna look at your sheet really fast here. Walter.
There's been no way to trigger it until now.
Right. That's weird. I don't have that listed on your...
You don't? It must be an old one.
That's fine. It's fine. I was just trying to remember if there was like a rouse check required because I don't have it on my little cheat sheet. That's fine. I can find it. It does cost a rouse check.
Okay. I'll do a rouse check.
Cool.
I got a 5. So now I'm hungrier.
You are hungrier.
Fuck, 3 hunger? I might just start eating this guy.
And you... okay. So you
I am
feel...
dominating.
Exactly. So your knuckles grow into these almost spikes that any sharper and they would do like a piercing type of damage, and they grow out of yours, and you sort of embrace your monstrous nature a bit more than you have, I think, thus far. So you're gonna get a +2 modifier to your brawl damage, and the damage is not halved. Good. So do you activate this and then start beating him, or do you beat him a little bit and then activate it and then beat him some more? What's the deal?
I mean, cinematically, I see myself beating him, enjoying it, and then activating it while I'm beating it. It's a slow roll down that hill. And then eventually, since I fail it, now I'm hungry, and I'm probably going to start looking to feed on this guy.
Yes.
Shit.
He has taken...
I'm a consensualist. What does that mean?
that means it's your predator type, so that's your preferred method of feeding. You can feed in other ways, but I will probably require you to like make a willpower roll, because this is in fact quite the opposite of your preferred method. So if you want, and also, I mean, as I feel is obvious, this is not immortal.
Right.
And kindred blood is different.
I'm leaving it up to you. I think that Walter, like, he lives how he wants to be, but this is him not having been in a fight for a while, got his blood boiling, he's hungry, so he's going to revert to a beast. So I'm gonna let you dictate what kind of negatives or what I have to do.
Okay.
It feels honest that he's doing this. I just need to know what the penalty is.
Steve, did you want to say something?
I was going to say Tommy would like to put a hand on Walter's shoulder. Now, soldier, we need him alive.
I'm not in
but
a
as
frenzy.
you say,
like, I'm not in a frenzy.
You're not in a frenzy. This is not a frenzy. This is something else. So you're correct. But Tommy, as you lay your hand on his shoulder and say that to Walter, the blows eventually become too much for this man, and he goes unconscious. And he stops moving entirely on the ground. And after the flurry of sounds of unnatural knuckle on skull, on neck, on flesh and muscle and tendon and sinew, the silence just lingers for a moment before the chaos of the scene continues, and the other figure that was running up the loading dock is coming at you as well with a pistol in hand.
Do I still have the dagger in my stomach?
So yeah, you got loot. You got a free dagger.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at the situation.
So what I imagined happening is that he was kind of holding on. He started to get beat. He lost his grip. And I said it clattered to the ground, but I guess it makes more sense it would probably like remain stuck in there. So we'll say that it was, he no longer has a grip on it and it's stuck in your gut currently. So you pull out the dagger.
Okay. Yeah, and I think I figured what Tommy will do, but this doesn't look good for Stains today. Terminal decree on the guy running at us.
Okay, you also, just so you know, because it's been a little bit chaotic, you gain stains from doing what you did to the people in the house, like waking up. Like, even though you didn't harm them, you're definitely putting them in harm's way and have massively. So that's gonna incur you 1.5 there. So another terminal decree, and you will get another 1.5, will give you 6 for this session. That is up to you. But if you terminal decree this other person, you are going to incur an additional stain, because these are just the consequences of using that power. So I'm giving you a chance because the stain count is getting so high. This is the final. I won't use
it. I want.
It's up to you. It's up to you. I'm just saying you're going to have to deal with the stains or not.
We're going to roll a die. This is how we got into this mess already. Let's just roll a die. High, I do it. Low, I don't. Terminal decree. This one I'm going to have to roll some kind of combative thing, I assume.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a context. Again, there are no rules written for this, so I'm just interpreting this how I feel is fair. and balanced as much as I can do from my position. So what do you want to tell him to do?
Oh, to the temple, lad. He has a pistol.
Okay, so roll. Roll manipulation and intimidation. That's a great pull for you, but we'll see.
Can I instead roll my dominate? Since I'm using the dominate spell.
So you want to roll manipulation and dominate?
Yes, yeah. That's usually that's from what I'm reading on this discipline sheet. Most of it is charisma and dominate or manipulation dominate for any of the combatant roles.
Okay, yeah, go for manipulation and dominate. Okay, so he's going to.
I'm also not going to lie. This is the largest amount of die pool that I have.
I know
on my sheet.
Play to your strengths.
That's an 8.
Oh boy. Okay. So this is what happens. You, as this man is approaching with the pistol, and he is kind of like looking directly at all of you that are there. And Tommy, you notice this man's face is very strange looking. It is a huge, huge mouth where his smile goes all the way up to his ears. These big, puffy lips, these dark black eyes and sallow skin, and this tiny little button nose. And as you tell him this and you use the ultimate power of your domination abilities, the smile grows wider and wider till you think it's going to crack his face in half. The man takes the gun, shoots his head, falls down as Tommy commands. As the beast widens a similar smile inside Tommy to the uncanny one just seen on the face of the man, but no longer. Both of these men are just on the ground now.
The one on below Walter is not moving. He's done for from what we can tell, correct?
What do you mean done for?
He just seems unconscious, or does he seem dead?
I mean, he hasn't turned into a pile of ash. So
okay.
he's not final dead.
I will walk over. I'll stand close to Walter. I'll grab the stake that he started with, and I'll put it in the chest of the person he's standing on. We need to move. We need to move now. We're taking this with us. We're going to go see Brimmer before this night's over.
What about the other guy? Did he turn to ash?
Okay, hold up. Walter, no. The other guy does not turn to ash. Lillian, what was the question that you asked?
Does my car pull up yet? Because I was going after to meet the car to make it hastily.
I would say, yes, I would say at this point, your car is going to pull up. I will say, Tommy, it's getting quite late. Like, we're getting to, 3 in the morning. Like,
this
4
is
in the morning. So
I don't know if I'll make it.
You have until about You have until about 6 a.m. is when you're going to be in trouble in terms of daylight.
I plan on how far is the bridge, the tunnel, from where we are right now?
It's a fair ways south and a bit further east. Like, if you get there, it's going to be.
You're
going to hope that they let you stay there.
Okay.
At this point, when Lillian pulls up, she's just going to roll down the window and be like, "Gentlemen, if you don't mind, I think now would be the perfect opportunity for us to vacate the premises."
Do we have storage for this person? As I start dragging them
I
towards the car.
always have storage for unnecessary and unwanted items. Don't worry about that, darling.
Beautiful. Is there a trunk in this vehicle?
Sure. We'll
Yeah.
say yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll
Only
spend
the
a fate
best.
point to say yes.
And I don't even get out of the vehicle. I'm just talking through the window, and I will instruct the driver to open the trunk. You can put the guy in the trunk. And then the other doors, you guys can get in.
What about that, maggot? No witnesses?
Yeah, I was about to say, you put one. Which one do you put in the trunk? Do you put the lizard-looking guy or the big smile guy?
The lizard-looking guy.
Okay, so the lizard-looking guy goes in the trunk. What about the other guy?
I'll take care of him. You guys have done enough work. I'm gonna go over to Smiley and with my trench knife, I'm gonna coup de grace him.
Okay. So
Lillian's impressed you're able to finish something.
Yeah. Cold-blooded.
there's no roll required here because he's just laying prone on the ground. So, and I've never quite had a kindred like meet final death in this way. So maybe Pat and Sam.
How old? If it's old, it'll just ash. If it's not old, it'll just be a corpse.
It's not old.
It'll corpse.
I'm gonna basically just with the trench knife, I'm gonna just hack his head off.
Essentially what
That
happens
would
with
take him
final
out.
death is the years or the time period catches up to them. So if they're really fucking old, they will ash. If they're not, they will just turn into whatever kind of decayed, decrepit being that they should have been when they were embraced.
Gotcha. Okay, so Rafe, you spend several bloody minutes doing this, and you've probably had a few war flashbacks in the course of this night. Hamstringing an opponent, dismemberment. These are things that could unearth those very recent memories. And so but I say that Rafe does it, and you are successful in that task. Now, what are we doing with his remains?
I'm gonna leave it there.
Let me make a note.
Now, darlings, we don't want to be caught in the sun or breach masquerades or whatever it is.
And you
that
hear
we will be
sirens.
doing. Let's
And the
go.
rose.
All right, I'm gonna get.
I'll be taking that ride now, Miss Crawford.
I'm gonna.
Wonderful, darling. Please.
I'm gonna take dude's head at least.
You will not be bringing a crime
no.
scene in here.
That will go in the
Leave
trunk
it-
of the car,
Yeah.
or you will leave it here.
I'm
Leave
gonna-
it somewhere where the sun finds it first.
Oh, the sun will take care of the body. The head, at least, is.
Why do you need the head?
And I hold it up so she can see the smile.
All right, when the sun hits it, it will be flames and ash and decay. That's all that will be left of it. Please don't put that in my car, Rafe. I appreciate the sentiment of what you're trying to do here, darling, but no.
Gonna yeet it over by the train tracks.
Well done, darling. Well done. Now get into the fucking car already, can you? Please,
Wow.
Shall we?
Yep.
Shall we all
I'm
get
doing
into the
good.
car now?
No. All right.
Into the car now, darlings. We must leave now before any more unsavory characters decide to ascend upon us. Okay?
These clothes are ruined. All right.
Okay.
For a price, I can repair them or replace
We all
them,
make
rather.
sacrifices.
The car is
Tommy's
moving
just
now.
staring at his gut wound.
Tommy.
The car is moving now, and everybody roll wits and awareness.
Well, 2.
4.
2.
6.
Okay. So Tommy and Walter, you see just faintly, but as the car is pulling away, you see a second gargoyle fly north. Very, like, it's almost undetectable by the night sky, but because it's like coming from this building and there's fire and like all this chaos, you do kind of see him almost like struggle for a second, like to fly, but then kind of rights himself and continues north. And it's a distinct different gargoyle from the one that shrieked and broke through the glass earlier. Lillian and Rafe, you notice that as well. But from that addition onto the building at the back, you hear glass shatter and almost this supersonic boom, and the air feels charged with supernatural energy.
Lillian's just gonna be Charles, darling, would you, if you'd be so kind, just to step a little bit heavier on the gas pedal, please, darling. We are in a bit of a hurry, and I don't like to be kept waiting. You know how angry I can get sometimes. If you don't mind just increasing the pace a bit, dear.
And completely silently, he basically floors it. Not going too fast in these old-timey cars, but he's basically doing it to the maximum
35
of the automobiles. I'm assuming you're heading west toward your place, Lillian.
I am heading to essentially, I'm dropping Walter and Rafe off wherever the fuck they want to go. But after dropping them off, essentially, I will not take Tommy home. I will go just a little bit, and then I will stop. And if you want to play out the beforehand, like taking Rafe and Walter home, we can do that first. But yeah, I won't take Tommy home first, or I won't take Tommy home at the moment.
Okay, so in terms of like the location, you would be dropping Walter off first.
Okay.
So you have your driver take you to the Shadwell Basin. It's not very far in a car, especially going pretty fast. So Walter, you feel utterly spent. You feel as though that could have been a lot worse for you, not the situation, but for you,
Right.
Walter. And you're covered in blood. Your clothes are askew. There's a pallor deepening in your face. How do you walk in your residence?
Triumphantly.
Walter opens the secure door, walks into his haven, and all the boys smile at him. And you can even hear some whooping as the car drives off. And then the driver, weaving through East London still, arrives at Rafe's flat.
You going to be okay there, darling?
I'm fine.
Or do you need other accommodations for the evening?
I'm fine.
Are you sure? I would hate to put you out.
I get out of the car. I'm not engaging. And I just close it.
And
Cheerio.
Rafe closes the door. Similarly, bloody, heinous violence done by his hand once again. Not befitting of a rose, but what do you know from roses anyway?
My
They
fucked
all
up
have
toxic sire.
nasty thorns, I hear, and can sometimes be sharp and annoying to manage.
And Rafe, what is Rafe thinking as he's just entering this very mundane clutter in his apartment with kind of books and papers and stuff strewn everywhere?
That this was unfortunately necessary to do. One way or the other, that building was going to get attacked. Whether it was the information getting passed up to Sheriff Parr and then her doing what she needed to do, or the way Rafe probably sees it, she'd chastise us for not taking care of the job in the first place and make us go back and do it. So, just getting to the far end of the consequences here. He's going to be spending a lot of time ruminating on that smile, though, because it was staring up at him the whole time, and that knife was not made for that kind of work. So that was a lot of time just staring at it, and it's probably going to be in his mind for a very long time afterwards.
Marked in the folds of your undead brain with indelible ink. Now, with Rafe and Walter relatively safely back at their havens, it's just Lillian and Tommy. And Lillian, are you having the driver take you back to your haven now or somewhere else?
I'm going to tell him, Charles, darling, if you don't mind, would you make a few rounds, and then I'll instruct you from there, darling. Just continue.
Well, Miss Crawford, we have our time together.
We do, yes, darling. How shall I put this? And I don't want you to take offense, Tommy. I really appreciate you a great deal. I hope you understand that. I feel like you and I, over these lovely moments in the past few months and before, have really garnered an understanding of each other. But it must be said, you, my darling, have gotten very sloppy.
Nothing. Go
I
ahead.
don't mind you being sloppy, and I don't mind cleaning up after your mess, as I have so done a few times already. I have a proposition for you. If you'll hear it.
I will entertain the idea. Go for it.
Fantastic. I love that when somebody detains me for a moment. It's wonderful. Exhilarating, really. Anyways, as I was going to say, proposition, yes. Something has, for lack of better terminology for your clan, and it's not in any way me trying to really ruminate on that, but something's broken in you a bit. I noticed it. You have shifted and changed, and I appreciate it, and I'm not here to judge you at all. I think that you are quite useful the way that you are, and however you see fit to continue to conduct yourself. But what I'm going to offer you is a way to focus that energy a bit. You need that, or you're going to fall in the disarray that so many of our kind do when they have gone off the rails a bit too much. And I know you don't want that. I know you don't want that because I know that you have something that you need to survive for. I know a lot about you, Tommy. I study all of you. I need to know these things to know what I'm dealing with, who I'm dealing with. And what I want to offer you is a safe haven for you and for the one you harbor. I know you don't want anything to happen to either you or that one, and with these uncertain times, with the things we are dealing with, it is concerning that something might happen, and I want to offer you protection from that. I want to give you a way to make sure that nothing happens to either of you. If you turn me down, like if you reject my proposal, then that's fine. You can continue to conduct your business however you see fit. I just am not going to clean up after you anymore. And you're leaving a trail, darling, and it's going to find you eventually.
I've always left a trail. It's going to find me sooner or later. No matter what we look at, if we are the cattle or we're the ones that we are right now, we all die.
And that's fair, but you have something to survive for, Tommy. And I have something
to fight for.
Right. And I'm here to try to help you protect that.
My protection right now is to make sure whatever is out there is taken care of.
Right, until the
now
next
how
thing
I get
shows
this
up.
taken care of. Now how I take this taken care of, we have different ways and options of doing such a thing. Now, mine might be bold. Mine might be a little out of left field.
Oh, bloody hell, Tommy, look at yourself already. You're covered in blood. You've already had your theatrics for the evening. What do you think that's going to get you, or the one you cherish so much? Where do you think that's going to lead you? I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to enable you in any way. I am trying to offer you something to help you focus that a bit.
My focus is on one thing. Now, once everything is taken care of, if there's still need of protection and focus, I will listen. I will partake. But I am a soldier. I have been through battles. I know that the only way to get through is to go through. You can't sit idly by and expect everything to go peachy keen. I don't expect to be able to say, take care of me, and you will take care of me. I feel like what you say is true. I feel that your intentions are there. But you see this scarf?
I do.
It's a lovely wool scarf given to me by my one true love. And while fighting for that one true love, that love can't even look me in the face anymore. I don't care what happens to me. I'm going to get the job done. Once the job is done, whatever you want, however you want to handle it, we do it. I may be making a mess, but I'm the only one coming up with answers here.
Let me help
That thing
you,
in the
Tommy.
back, we'll be able to get answers from them. That building, we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Tommy, let me help you so that your one true love can look at you again. Let me help you. We work well together. We have worked well together the entire time. We see eye to eye on so many avenues here. Let me help you. That's all I'm asking. Let me help you.
God, I love these dice rolls.
What are you rolling?
My intentions.
To see if he's going to agree or not.
Okay.
My intentions.
I'm not trying to take anything from you. I'm asking you to let me help you. And with that, I will cover up any time you slip up, it will disappear. Never be in an existence, and I will try to help you keep the mask that you need so that the one that you love can look at you again without seeing what you don't want them to see. Nobody plays this game better than I do. I can help you. That's all I'm asking.
I will ask the driver to stop the car. Miss Crawford, I will take your help in one condition. As long as that help, I pull up the dagger that was in my stomach. As long as this dagger goes into the gut of the person responsible, and I get to pull it up, that is when I will take your help. You help me get there, I'll take your help. You help me get there, we'll be able to talk about the rest.
Fair
and
enough.
I will step out of the car.
Have a good night, Tommy. Try not
You
to
too,
make a
Miss
mess on your way home.
And that is where we will end this evening's session. Thank you to everyone here in the game tonight. Wow. That's one for the books. Well done to my players. Really, really great one. We are going to do a quick round of outros here, and then we will say goodnight. We will
just want to point out that went way better me asking Tommy to let me help him than it did for me asking Wraith to let me help him.
It did. I mean,
so much better.
It makes sense. It makes sense. So we'll start with Ben as Walter.
Gotta find something on Ben now, or Walter.
Yeah, right. No. I've been Ben. I play Walter, the gangrel. I'm not really on the socials, but you can find me in Martlet Productions. And I will keep having a smile on my face.
Hi, Patrick Gill, creative director here at Martlet Games. Sarah, you got yourself a workout tonight, but good job.
Well done, darling. Well done.
Keep an eye on the socials, the Twitters, and the Instagrams, and all the other, lots of stuff popping off. Just keep your eye out. We're busy.
Okay, that would be me. Sorry, I'm so bad at this shit, man. All right, Samantha McLarty. I've been Lillian Crawford, your fabulous Ventru here, who is getting all the information on all the people so that I can get them properly under my thumb, like I need them to be. So I'm bad at outros. I'm on things, lots of things. Adjacent by night. Man, Jesus Christ. Adjacent by night. As Elena Cortez, La Sombra, and I do all kinds of other things. I'm hoping to run a few games here and there. I'm going to be in a few more one-shots here and there and mini-series. The best thing that you can do is there should be, is the link tree going to be here? Okay, my link tree is here. At just S McLarty is my socials, but check my link tree and you can click all the things there and just follow me on social. And I always announce what I'm doing and when I'm doing it there. That's your best bet. And again, I'm really bad at outros. So next, please, somebody get this off of me already. I'm done. So bad.
I'll take it. Hi, I'm Steven Rieger, creative partner here at Martlet Games. I have played Ptolemy the Malkavian. I'll make this quick, short, and sweet. Check out all of our Twitter feeds. All of us are doing stuff that's going on, be it with Martlet or other companies. All these people that we're working for here, we're homegrown, pushing product out for you guys to watch while having fun with it. And I'm hoping that you're having fun with us too. So just keep an eye out, watch everything that we're in, and enjoy.
And I'm your storyteller, Sarah. You can find me on Twitter at MCDiebeats. I'm also a creative partner here at Martlet Games. As others have said, please just follow social media. I'm on several different shows as well. I'm going to be in the storyteller seat in other occasions. So just follow us on social media and you'll see what's going on. Thank you to everyone. Please take care of yourselves and each other. And we will see you next time on London's Bleeding. Good night.
Good loves.